The Kinglets Nature Preschool in East Berwick is a unique program. Kids work at their own pace, creating learning opportunities centered on the outdoor world. It's so popular that they hope to become a non-profit organization. But to do that, they need funds, so parents are stepping up and giving back. Here's what News 7's Chelsea Burns has for us.
Look at my painting. This is going to be pink.
This is a great program that I really believe in. I think my kids have benefited a lot. I have one son currently attending, and I just want to support the program and grow what we're doing here. I think the kids benefit a lot from being outside and developing that love of nature, and I would love to see more kids in the area be able to have that experience. Just having more resources to use with the kids, and hopefully more kids can attend the program.
And then we slide down on our bellies.
So we're starting the GoFundMe to raise money for the application fee for the nonprofit organization. And if we become a nonprofit organization, then we can apply for grants. Mostly we're looking to apply for grants that would allow us to buy supplies for the school. So maybe snowshoes for all the children, or tools for the kids to use, or start a garden. And then also we were hoping to start a scholarship fund.
I love to be outside with them and share my love of nature with them. And so that's really the focus of our program, is about being outside, making connections to the environment, making connections to each other, and having a sense of place that the children take pride and responsibility and grow a love for. So it's helping them to nurture that love of nature. It's my favorite part.
The Kinglets have so far raised $845 of their $1,600 goal.
Inn in Lyndonville has had their Meals on Wheels program for a long time. Their volunteers help make meals and deliver them. Malcolm Babras is one of the volunteer drivers, and he and his wife have delivered food for 4 years. News 7 photojournalist Alice Way has the story.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This will be our 4th year. It's all volunteer work. There's a lot of people in need out there that don't get help. Well, I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on this route. Wednesdays, we take the local route, because I call bingo. I always check them off to make sure that they did it. Morning. How are you today?
Good, sir.
Sometimes like 2 means 2 meals, 1 means 1 meal. It says 4, so they get 2 for Saturday and 2 for Sunday, plus the hot meal. Not everybody gets frozen. If they request it, now we got snow coming. Well, if there's going to be a snow day like tomorrow, we would have frozen meals that we would take with us. This one here, the lady is gone, but we get permission to go inside and put it in the refrigerator for them. Because I've been stuck a couple times because of the mud with the car, even though it's 4-wheel drive. Hello, how are you?
Thank you very much.
Here's your biscuit. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care now. I've seen times I've had to park side the road and walk up in the driveways. Just couldn't get up in there. Do I enjoy it? Yeah. I don't know if I could do it 8 hours. Because we have to leave real early, and then people get their meals. But for the most, everybody's appreciative.
Emily Emily Trahan of Littleton, New Hampshire began a heavy lifting when she was 15 years old. 4 years later, she's competing across the country, making a name for herself in the sport. We caught up with the strong woman during her Saturday morning workout to learn a little bit more about her heavy lifting experience.
I actually got into this, my dad did it first, and then they were pushing me to do it. So when I was 15, I started doing this. And since that day, I kind of just fell in love with it.
From the beginning, she came, I noticed that she loved to lift weights, and she was very strong, so I introduced her to the sport of strongman. And she was still strong, very coordinated, had a gift. So we started lifting weights. She progressed pretty fast into some big weights. She was lifting big weights, and she won teen nationals a few years ago, and she's only gotten stronger since then. Head through, great, you gotta get another one. Head through, another one. Punch it. Elbows under. Yeah, it works. Feet together, down.
And along with the physical component of the sport, these athletes are faced with the grueling mental challenge.
Some days it's rough. I have my rough days. I get disappointed, but some days are like I get PRs all the time, and but it's definitely it relieves the stress for me for some reason. I feel like just working out in general helps me out a lot. So
we undergo a lot of pain and discomfort. You're holding a couple 100 pounds in each hand, and you have to walk as far as you can with it, and you have to fight through that pain and discomfort to go that extra foot or extra 2 feet for the win or for your personal best. So your mindset has to be special. We're special people.
it's basically we're competing against ourselves. That's why I love doing competitions and stuff, because it's basically no matter if you come in first or whatever, I'm just doing it for me and myself, and everyone's just helping you and cheering on. That's why the sport, I just love it.
When asked what motivates her to lift, Emily didn't describe anger or frustration, but instead fulfilling her own potential. And sometimes when it comes down to it, it's just fun to lift heavy things.
My favorite event is the stone, like the stone. So when I get to lift heavy stuff on that, it's like so cool.
Rachel Johnson,
Middle school students at the Concord School are hard at work preparing for their first ever Empty Bowl dinner. They've been a part of every aspect of the fundraiser, which will raise money for the school's art program and food pantry.
Never heard of an Empty Bowl dinner before? That's okay. Kristen Huntington and her students can tell you all about it.
The Empty Bowl Dinner is this actually giant project we're doing right now. I'm doing it with all my art students. We're doing everything from making the bowls to making the soups that we're going to be serving.
We make soup on Thursdays, and then we usually make bowls and glaze them on Tuesdays.
It's fun when we make more than one soup because everyone is in it.
We all get to cut up like the onions or dice the garlic, and it really works out well.
It's kind of been a lifelong dream of mine to do this kind of project-based learning experience for kids where, you know, every aspect of it they're doing there. It involves math in terms of cooking and converting fractions, and language arts in terms of proofreading their the press materials they're preparing, and cooking and making the designs, you know, making pottery bowls. So it's really exciting to have a true project base. I just think it's going to be a great experience for them to see this through from very start to finish. So yeah, it's been awesome.
The dinner will be taking place on Thursday, February 15th, and all are encouraged to attend.
The Guards usually gives us the impression of being serious soldiers, but in addition, the soldiers of the 40th Vermont Army Band are all artists. Bringing beautiful music and performances to people is also part of their job as a National Guardsman. News 7 photojournalist Alice Way has more.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
The 40th Army Band is made up of, we're called citizen soldiers. We do two different things primarily. I mean, we have our regular military jobs that we do and trainings. So we do go to like the range and we practice shooting and we do some other military exercises. Otherwise, our main job is providing musical support for activities. We try to make sure that we change up what we do and where we go so that we get to as many different communities as we can. We do parades, concerts, we work in schools, we work with kids. A lot of our members have full-time jobs outside of the Guard.
Vermont's own 40th Army Band.
I joined my freshman year of college. This is my way of playing music for the rest of my life. I always have a gig, and it's come in handy with paying for school and then right now having health insurance and things like that. So there were a lot of perks for me. I'm just never going to forget last July where they made me run sound for our biggest concert of the year and how hectic that was, but how supportive everyone was at the same time. It went so perfectly. I love it. It's great. It's just another family.
This week, Linden State College is hosting their 22nd annual Cultural Festival, an event intended to educate the public about diversity. However, for community members like Benafsha Sohail, this is a conversation that exceeds far past the week-long event. News 7's Rachel Johnson sat down with Sohail to learn about her upbringing in Afghanistan, as well as the family support that has led to her education pursuit here in Vermont.
Sohail grew up in the Bamiyan province of Afghanistan, where she was encouraged by her family to pursue an education in the United States. Unlike many of her friends who were getting married and having children, she received a scholarship from the Linden Institute and uprooted her life to Vermont. It was an adjustment, to say the least.
Culture-wise, the food was something that was really different compared to Afghan food. The way people dress here, because it's a Western country, it's completely different than an Islamic country like Afghanistan. So I was, feeling different because of the way I dressed or the way I behaved.
According to Sohail, Vermonters have been very accepting of her culture, but at the beginning, opening up wasn't easy.
Well, I was a boarding student in high school, and I found people really, excited, and all people, like the whole LI community, were interested in learning more about international students. So I think it was hard for students to approach to me and ask questions at the beginning, and then after I gave a campus-wide presentation at the General Assembly at school, after that, I think the students were more interested to ask me questions and learn more about me, about my background and where I came from.
Sohail has learned a great deal throughout her life, which has been split between two completely different cultures. And one of the most important pieces of advice that she can pass along to others is to never take an education for granted.
And I think the only way to recognize and use all the freedom of getting an education and the opportunity to take a look to the developing countries and the countries that don't have security and compare their lives with those young people, and they will find out that how valuable it is to use the opportunities here and finish their education.
Rachel Johnson, News 7, Lindenville.
Sohail plans to remain in the United States after she graduates with a business degree next year. She plans to devote her time. A grass fire had started out today on Higgins Hill Road in St. Johnsbury. The cause of the fire was an unpermitted burn located behind a residence. Firefighters from Danville, Waterford, and Lindenville were called in to assist St. Johnsbury in controlling the fire. Firefighters were on the scene for several hours.
From what we understand,
A person had been burning some brush and the wind came up and it spread quickly on them. So some of the incidents are too large for our department to handle alone, so we call mutual aid. And today we called for Waterford and Danville and Lindenville to come to the scene, and Barnet went to the station for coverage.
But yeah, right now we're like shaping the dough because we're practicing to make the rolls. We have these booklets from King Arthur Flour that they sent us when we applied for the program, and it gives us the recipes.
I think I feel a lot better to teach the kids now.
I think it's really a great thing to be able to have our 8th graders be learning with real-world experience and really doing some hands-on activities, and letting them choose how they learn has been a great thing for them.
So we're doing a project-based learning unit that is a partnership with the Tarrant Institute from UVM, and we are trying to integrate the academic skills into the projects so that students are engaged in real-life, authentic projects. I think it's just fun to see everything coming together and the diversity of projects. So students are doing everything from teaching wilderness first aid to growing gardens to learning baking, and so it's fun to see them being able to choose what they want to be involved in, and also to see them helping their community, and it's fun to see their projects coming together at the end of the year.
I think it's really cool that my school is doing this because it's kind of like a job, and we get to help the community in a bigger way. And then just sitting in a classroom and taking tests and quiz, we're actually going out to the community and doing our own stuff.
Our project is wilderness first aid, and so our global goals is health. And so far we have applied for a grant so that we could pay for a wilderness first aid course. Now we're going to plan on teaching some more grades like K in 5th grade, and then we're going to give an opportunity, or an option to teach the after school program and the outdoor club.
We're taking what we're doing and we are helping get a new renovation for our school, bigger classrooms, bigger gym, and trying to make the school a better place for the students.
It's National Mom and Pop's Business Day, which recognizes businesses nationwide that have started from the ground up by private owners. Little Dipper's Doodle Center started out as a daycare in 1997, licensed for only 12 children. Today, the business conducts a preschool as well as an after-school program, licensed for 150 children. It's one of the biggest child care centers in the state, and employees spoke out about what they get from their jobs.
I absolutely love it. Kids have always been a passion of mine. I don't know, just something about it has always drawn to me. And now moving into kind of the family outreach position, not only am I still working with the kids and helping the kids, I also get to help families.
Pink purple. We're finding with more research that early intervention and early care benefits them in the long run. And I think that being a business, you meet the needs of your clientele, and the clientele showed that they need more of an educational setting. And this
Northeast Kingdom Council on Aging is offering a free Golden Ball Tai Chi class in Danville. In addition to classes at St. Johnsbury and Lindenville that have been offered for over 11 years, the new class in Danville is for elderly people over 40 years old. News 7's photojournalist Alice Hui has more.
This is about learning how to relax internally. Golden ball, in the ancient tradition, the golden ball represents that ball of energy, whether it's in Tai Chi or Qigong or in martial arts and the various names. Breathe in, everything softens. Breathe out. That energy that is moved in everything that is done in Tai Chi and Qigong and martial arts is that ball of energy, and it's called golden ball. There are 2 Chinese characters that represent that ball of energy. Back to center, hands on that beautiful golden ball, press down, breathe out. What we do in Golden Ball Tai Chi is a bit different than what some of the other Tai Chi classes around do, because what we're doing is taking an ancient tradition that is passed to us from Master Lam. So there's a long lineage of masters that comes in this tradition. Out. Well, I think it's important to say that this is a 2,500-year, more than 2,500-year-old tradition. So we close with a gentle fist of our right hand and an open palm, and we make a little bow to the more than 2,500 years of this tradition. So thank you.
The Tai Chi class is held at the Danville Methodist Church every Wednesday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.